2020 has almost come to an end, so I decided to do a little bit of an end of the year update for Verdant Growth. So grab a cup of hot chocolate, sit down, and let's have a little talk. My name is Eugene, and this is Verdant Growth. I think we can all agree 2020 has been a little bit of a crazy year. We've all had to do a lot of staying at home. Some of us have lost our homes, some of us have lost our jobs, and others have lost loved ones. There was a lot of suffering and a lot to be sad or angry or frustrated about. But it wasn't all bad news. We did have some good news. Like so many of the stories of all the people fighting on the front lines of the pandemic, fighting in hospitals to keep people alive, fighting wildfires in Australia or throughout America. And there was a huge movement for racial equality this year. Sure, we could focus on the bad. We could focus on the fact that CO2 emissions have been higher than ever. The pandemic is still raging and people are still dying every day. Or we could even focus on the fact that environmental protections just haven't gone as far as we really need them to if we really want to stop mass species extinction and climate change. But since it's the end of the year, I thought we would take a little bit of time today to first talk about what are the good things that have happened in the environment this year. And then after that, we can go a little bit into my thoughts about how this channel went and how my blog went for my very first year doing Verdant Growth. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about the future of Verdant Growth and what I want to do with it going into the future. And I would really appreciate it if a lot of you would join in on that conversation down in the comments below. So let's get into it. The good things that happened to the environment in 2020. Climate awareness and concern for the environment has become one of the top concerns of voters in America. It was among the top 3 concerns for voters in the presidential election. Thanks to all kinds of activist movements like the Sunrise Movement and 350.org, among many others, there have been so many strides made this year in climate and environment awareness. Climate leaders won elections. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris won the presidency. They're making big promises these days to lead the fight against climate change, not just in America, but on a global stage. But this is something that's happening not just at the presidential election level, but at all levels of government. Across America, people are winning government seats running on policies focused on climate change and environmental protection. So while it doesn't really do a lot to help the environment immediately, it means that we have a little bit more hope for what's coming in 2021 and beyond. Many countries also set zero emissions targets. China, Japan, and many others have all declared that they're going to try to go completely carbon-free by 2050. These countries are starting a trend that is going to spread to more and more countries as these countries recognize that climate change is a massive problem and that everybody on the planet is going to have to work to reduce their carbon footprint, particularly the highest emitting, most developed countries like America and China. Next, renewable energy, specifically solar and wind, have both become very cost competitive with fossil fuels. And I say cost competitive, but what I really mean is that producing electricity with solar and wind is now way cheaper than it is to produce energy with fossil fuels. That technology also continues to get cheaper and cheaper, which means that going into the future, it's just going to become more and more of a no-brainer to take solar and wind energy over energy that was produced by fossil fuels. This year alone, it was estimated that over 90% of the new energy installed globally was renewable. This again just highlights this trend that we're really going towards a no-carbon economy. Yes, I know we've still got a long way to go and the fossil fuel industry is still fighting really hard to make sure that we're all still using fossil fuels to power our countries, but it's just a fight they can't win anymore. They just can't win against free power from the sun. Which leads me to my next point. Coal and fossil fuels are all in their death throes now. Oil pipelines like the Dakota Access Pipeline were shut down this year because more and more companies are starting to recognize that there are better ways of powering their companies. Oil is just not a solid investment anymore. From here on out, oil use will just decrease across the board, and everybody's waking up to that fact, meaning more and more people are saying, hey, why are we paying to take this oil out of the ground when it's not really a viable source of energy anymore? Also this year, many major banks like Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Chase, Wells Fargo, and Citibank have all jumped on this bandwagon of committing to no longer investing in fossil fuels at all. That is a huge development. Without the backing from the banks, fossil fuel industries are going to have a much harder time funding all of their oil projects. This is truly the sign that the fossil fuel era is coming to an end, and from here on out, we make the transition into the renewable energy era. Complementary to the energy transition that's happening in electricity power production, we're now seeing a huge increase in the number of electric vehicle sales as well. This year, more than any other year on record, electric cars sold like crazy. This is starting to hit the transportation industry hard and fast. Everything from buses to trucks to just your everyday driving cars are all switching to electrics just because it's cheaper. So there were some good things that happened in the world of the environment. Of course, this is not everything. There was many more, but these are the biggest ones that I wanted to highlight here on this channel today. Now let's talk a little bit about Verdant Growth. In my case, the pandemic left me with half a job and a lot of extra time on my hands, and that is what partially led me to start Verdant Growth, a blog and a YouTube channel where I talk about all the things that I've learned and kind of track my journey into becoming more environmentally friendly. In some ways, I feel like I've really succeeded. I've learned so much about the environment and about how we as people connect to the environment. I learned how to set up the blog and how to set up the YouTube channel and to get everything running kind of sort of smoothly. And I've gotten to the point where I feel I'm kind of a at least beginner level YouTuber, blogger, and social media environmentalist. However, I also feel like I haven't quite hit on exactly the content that I want yet. I'm still adjusting to what I want to make and trying to decide what it is that I want to focus on my channel and on my blog. Both are a learning process that are constantly evolving, and as I get better at producing the content, I start to think more and more about the actual content itself. What is it that I want to do? What is it that I want to focus on? How can I be more effective in relaying my messages to more people? So in that line, I have a few general thoughts about my blog and my YouTube channel. Let's start with the blog. I love my blog. Again, it's been a great learning experience for me. It's been a place where I can really start to consolidate all of the stuff that I read online, and I feel like to some people it might be making a difference out there. But until now, most of the things that I posted, most of it was not new information. A lot of it was just me finding lots of information outside and just kind of collecting it together and kind of putting it out onto the internet in my own words. So many of the blogs that I've produced up until now, I feel pretty proud of that I've put good information into, but I feel like it's contained very little of me and who I am. So going into 2021, I'd like to start doing more posts, but posts that are a little bit more personal, my own private and personal thoughts. Maybe some of that would be useful to you guys. Maybe more than just the facts and the figures. Understanding a little bit about who I am and what I'm doing and actually seeing the changes being applied to my life is probably more useful to most people than to just telling you guys what's the right thing to do. As for my YouTube channel, I also love my YouTube channel. I love what it's become. I have a lot of fun making these videos and I'm really enjoying it. I spent so much of 2020 just figuring out how to set up my camera, set up a microphone, set up lights, edit the footage. But now I'm at a point where I'm kind of okay at doing all of that stuff, and now I'm starting to think, the content needs to reach more people. It needs to have more of an impact, and it needs to be something that you guys want to see. So I'm still kind of playing with a lot of different ideas for what I want to do with my YouTube channel in 2021. But here are some of the things that I'm kind of thinking about. And on all of this, I want you guys to comment down below. Tell me what you think, whether any of these are good ideas or something that you would want to watch. First, debate or discussion videos. Videos where I could invite on either experts or other people who maybe are not as aware about the environment and the impact that we have on the environment. Having discussions with people that are not just like-minded like me, like people who are different, maybe people that are more conservative, or maybe people who are climate denialists even. I could even be talking with people like vegan or vegetarian activists or Black Lives Matter activists, because so much of this stuff is connected. The environment is so heavily connected to so many different problems that we have in our society today that maybe by reaching out to some of those communities, I could have a little bit more of an impact in other areas, not just the environment. I've also thought about making shorter video series, quick little 2-minute videos that get posted every day with little tips or little facts that could help you guys into making your lives become more environmentally friendly, or to just help you guys make better decisions on a day-to-day basis. And last, more videos about me personally. Videos about my life and what I'm doing in my life. Maybe actually take this camera and bring it around with me and show you guys how I live my life and what I'm doing, what kind of challenges I'm facing in my day-to-day life, so that you guys can see that I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect environmentally friendly guy as much as some people might think. I'm still learning too, and I know so many of you guys are as well, so that if you guys see my struggles, then maybe that'll help you guys feel a little bit better about some of your struggles. Maybe we could even do like group discussions where I invite people that are subscribed to my channel on, and we can just have environmental discussions, or just discussions about how to live your life to be more in balance with nature. Discussions where it's not just me teaching other people, but it's also me learning and connecting with other people as well. That is something that I feel like could be valuable to a lot of people. So I've mentioned it a couple of times already, but what do you guys think? What do you guys want to see? What kind of content would be the most interesting to you guys? Please comment it down below. I would really appreciate all the input that you guys have, any advice, what you guys think about the content I've made until now. Has it been good, bad, so-so? Are there changes you want to see? I'm open to all discussion right now, so please just leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Okay. It's been a long year, and I hope you guys are surviving it well. Whatever your situation is, keep pushing to be better every day. Keep just putting one foot in front of the other. Even if you can't see where you're headed, if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other every single day, I promise you're gonna end up farther along than you are now. Especially if you're in a situation where you're just sitting and thinking, what should I do? What should I do? Where should I go? Take action. Find out what you believe. Find what your morals and your values are, and then act on them. Make the changes you need to make in your life to live by those values. In my case, I value the environment, and I value fighting climate change. So every day I'm looking for ways to change the way I live my life so that I can be more in line with those values. Some people see those changes as making sacrifices, but they aren't sacrifices when they're helping me to live by my values. When I turn off the water when I'm not using it in the shower, when I'm not buying any plastic bottles of drinks, Or when I'm picking up trash off the floor. Yeah, you could look at that as, sure, Eugene, you're not getting that delicious soda in the bottle. Or, Eugene, you're missing out on hot water shower time. Or, Eugene, you're wasting your time picking up trash. If you think about it that way, it sounds like a sacrifice. But to me, all of those things have put my life more in line with what I believe. I like doing those things. Doing those things makes me feel better about what I'm doing as a human being. What I'm doing not just for my own life, but for my family and for the planet. I promise, if you always act on and live by your values, you will be happier. And then you're gonna make everyone around you happier. And really, isn't that the most basic goal of life for anyone out there? To become happy yourself, and then to make others around you happy. To me, there is no goal in life that is more valuable than that. Lastly, thank you guys for coming along with me on this Verdant Growth journey. It's been so much fun for me to produce all of this stuff, to produce the blog and the YouTube channel, and I've really enjoyed doing it. I really appreciate every single one of you that have taken the time to either read my blog, watch one of my YouTube videos, comment down below, or just interact with Verdant Growth in any way possible. I'm slowly shaping the brand and changing and evolving it every single day to make it into the brand that I want it to be. Full disclosure, recently I was feeling a little bit down about it. I was kind of feeling like I don't know where it's going or what I should be doing with it. What's the way that I could be most effective or have the most impact with it? And I had kind of gotten a little bit depressed about, I don't know, where it was going. It felt kind of lost. But talking to some of the friends that I have recently who have watched the channel or read the blog and told me that it is having an impact on them, that they have been talking about it now, and that they have started to think more about their lives and how they relate to the environment. And that kind of filled me with a new hope, a new motivation, and a new love for Verdant Growth and everything that I do with it. So even now, I'm not 100% sure as to what I want to do with it, but I'm going to keep going. I'm just going to keep pushing forward and hope that more people will slowly come to me and I'll slowly be able to figure out what it is that I want and what it is that you guys want in the future. So really, truly, thank you to every single one of you for watching. Be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button down below. Leave a comment. I would love to hear from all of you. Tell me, how was your 2020? Did it go well? Not so well? However it went, leave a comment down below and I promise I'll reply to it. And see you guys in 2021. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. Bye guys. See you. Bye. Bye 2020. Thank you guys again for watching. Eugene and Verdant Growth out. Man. That was good. It felt really good to kind of talk about all this stuff and get that all off of my chest. Man, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to start 2021 now. Things are gonna change. Verdant Growth is gonna grow. It's gonna become something good. I think. I hope. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a good challenge. It's gonna be a good year. I promise. It's gonna be a great year for Verdant Growth. Let's do it. Okay, I'm ready. 2021, let's go.